in to replace Haru, a world champion who has a skin in the damn game, who had an exceptional split, who has, by all accounts, moved on to
champion. He won the NLC. What are you talking about?
Exactly, an incredible experience for all involved. You know, he's moved on to bigger and better things. Sadly for us, but it does mean that MC's stepping into some big shoes. It's a guy we've had a lot of praise for his mechanics. Sometimes had some issue with his decision-making. Sometimes had some issues with his champion pool. Never had an issue with his Nidalee. This is a hell of a game to try and prove that he is worthy of stepping into those shoes. And on the other side, I mean, XL, they didn't make it work last split. Despite what should have been an extraordinary regular season, they fell out first in playoffs to MC and Slowq.
Yeah, exactly. And now they have to play against them. But you know who actually beat MC and Slowq in the playoffs? It was Venzer and FGG when they played for Dusty. So we've got a bunch of players in these two teams that have pretty much
there's a lot of interconnections here.
Helped each other move forward, you know, into the playoffs. But all in all, going back to the drafts, I'm just really excited to see the skill check coming in from the X7 lineup. You've got Chasey coming in, who we know likes to play the skill check champions towards the top side of the map. Jace is one of the more difficult ones. Your positioning is very key. Making sure that you're ahead and you're not getting caught on the top side of the map is very key. And I do agree with Namera. Does this X7 not snowball the early game, not start stacking dragons and forcing XL to fight them? It's going to be very difficult for them because, yes, they're long range, but they're extremely squishy. And from the other side, JDXL have chosen a bunch of heavy engage. Sion running into you, done with the Monkey going all in the backline. You've got Cries with the Mega Knight as well. It's going to be extremely difficult to navigate all this engage.
Carly's great at diving. You've got a Dawning Shadow from Senna who can hit you from literally across the map. You've got a lot of ways to access people who would rather not be accessed. All things said and done. But I think, honestly, I see where both analysts on the desk were coming from, because X7, they have a lot of ways to play like X7 does, namely smash early game, crush it from there, be absolutely oppressive with the incredible range they have. On the other side, as you said, it's an XL draft. They've got ways to take it through the mid to that late game. Just need to see how it all plays out, and that means early on, what can X7 get done, especially towards that top side?
Yeah, I was just about to hit the top side of the map, because if you look at the top side, Chasey is already building up the wave. MC obviously wants to play towards the top side of the map. That's where his two AD damage dealers are currently on the map. So you definitely want to play with this AP, AD damage combo, trying to possibly dive Cries onto that. Now, once he has used his Mega Knight, you'll see that the timing doesn't adapt very well right now, because Cries is just about to hit Mega Knight. By the time MC has cleared his jungle and wants to dive top with the triple wave, the Mega Knight will have run out.
That is at least the plan. Of course, there was some notes. Chasey is new to the roster. He is a Korean national, right? Well, we don't know how his communication will be with MC, who is also new to the roster. They're not playing with their starting mid laner in Temp. They're playing with Slowq. Yes, MC and Slowq were playing together last split on Riddle. We should hopefully help out there with some synergy. There are still some questions to ask, and we need to see, of course, whether they can make it work. Chasey right now has got that lane shoved in. MC is quickly power farming his way towards an early scuttle, has now got it, and has, surprise, surprise, got himself ready to look about at least an invade and a look into this bot side jungle, or bot side blue side jungle. That was an awkwardly phrased statement, but it's not going to do too much more. Instead, back off.
That was a really nice actually move from SC right there, because you would usually look for a dive, but he doesn't necessarily want to dive. He wants to make sure that Chasey is safe. But what would be a great reaction from Dan right there is like, all right, I see what Chasey is trying to do with the Jace on the top side of the map. They're trying to snowball. They've got the Nidalee plus the Jace. They might be pulling out the dive. Maybe the Wukong was top side of the map trying to cover for his top laner. Dan started completely opposite side of the map, and both junglers are starting on that, finishing that full clear first time.
Absolutely, and Dan did have a quick look in here at the bot side to see whether there would be an opportunity for a gank. And remember, MC has backed.
Oh, here it comes.
Has got items, and Dan has just recalled. That means FGG and Venzer are in a lot of trouble. A flash! Zenith Blade in from Kasiga. Tiller flashing forwards as well. First blood to MC's Nidalee. It's in the name. He's the main character.
Absolutely getting that first skill 4 minutes into the game. And again, that JDXL bot lane, they had the entire wave pushing to them. You don't have to overextend, especially since you have just seen that your jungler did take the teleport back to base, so you need to stay safe. They overextended. Kasing instantly engages up on them, and they managed to get the first kill of the game, and no one else other than MC's Nidalee as well. Now you can take this kill, you can go back, you can cash in, get this extra gold into items, and potentially look for a top lane.
Indeed, you can. Of course, It did cost Attila and Kasing a few summoners. That's Exhaust and Flash down from Attila. You've got the Flash and, of course, the Ignite down from Kasing, but Hex Flash obviously allows a little bit of mobility for the Leona anyway, but there was a heavy investment there. Maybe there's a world where Dan could return down towards that bot side and make sure some of those summoners are punishable.
Here's where MNS comes in here, because they are manically looking to see where MC is gonna end up. MNS might even like try his luck here, but level 5 Akali is not that dangerous. You definitely don't want to be playing around giving Nidalee yet another kill. So making sure that you spot where MC is towards the top side of the map. You know that his camps have just spawned right there, so he's gonna be moving towards the bot side of the map again. And XL bot lane.
That's a trade, but Dan's there, and Slowq quickly binds his soul back to his body and flashes the hell out of there, because that was a lot of people he did not want to be around. Kasing takes out the control ward, but gets away from...
The really cool thing with this gank is that Venza was in his mist together with Dan. But you can't know if who Venza is bringing with him is the Wukong or the Sion, so you have to be extra cautious of that.
Indeed, of course, Spectator won't necessarily give that context because we kind of see everything, right? We see it from both sides, and of course for X7 it's just those actually quite grim-looking like ghouls with multiple arms that you see walking around with the mist. It's quite the animation. As MNS has now hit 6 alongside Slowq and is once again just leaning towards the top side of the river. But MC and Kasing looking to get onto FGG and Venza. It's round 2. Spear lands, but doesn't do all that much damage. Flash away from Venza. Still going on this. A lot of damage. Venza's still alive, though. The piercing darkness is enough to keep the Senna in one piece. Dan now coming down, but he blast cones the other way and decides it's all done for now.
Very well played right there from FGG. Covers the first spear, flying in towards Venza. Venza flashes in after the Zenith Blade connects as well, taking Leona further with him, making sure that the bot lane doesn't fall down. But that is also Venza's flash. In the first gang, we had Venza going down. Now it cost him his flash. Yes, Dan is around, but can they pull the play right here?
Attila is going to get jumped on a flash decimating smash, and Attila the Hun goes straight down. There will be no Mongol horde thus far. That's a kill back now to XL, and MC is in a spot of bother, being hunted through the wrong side of the rift. MNS hops over the wall with the shuriken flip, and MC is now on the run. Uses the blast gun, and he is, of course, a Nidalee. He runs pretty damn fast. He'll take a tower shot, but should potentially be able to get his way up. But look at the top side of your screen. You see Dan still hunting.
Unless Prize moves right here, I don't think XL can cut off MC. He's actually going to jump over the way out.
All right, well, Dan has got the cyclone. It'll be a smash from MC to keep his health up, and he gets out of dodge. Oh, good escape there from MC.
Does he?
Prevent that from being any more. Wait, no. No! The smite's on cooldown, and MC gets away with absolute murder. That is a drive-by, if I've ever seen one.
I'm not sure where the Wukong clone ended up, because I think Dan tried to position the clone in case MC tried to steal it with the spear, but MC very cleverly played this and got away with stealing that blue buff away, since the smite was also on cooldown for Dan. Really good stuff so far from MC. Even in CS right there, has pulled up the gank as well on the bot side of the map. 1-0 has got the boots for him as well, which means that he's going to be doing that much more damage with the pen coming in from the boots.
Teleport now coming in from FGG, who's going to come down towards his bot side. Dan has started up the Rift Herald that spawned about 20 seconds odd ago. Is still on it. It's got that pressure, of course, because MC had to back away. Down to about 1,800. MC could come over. It'll be a test now. Watch for the spears. This will now be a straight smite fight. It is secured by Dan, but he's thrown the cyclone. Needs to get out of here. The clone is down. Second cyclone activation comes through. The spear goes wide. MNS now shielding. Lands a shuriken. In goes MNS. MC over the wall. Lands the spear, but it's Dan who picks up the kill. Slowq going to try and get some more, but will not be able to land anything more. Trying to get that kill. Can't quite make it work, and the ult's already down. They get the kill. They get the Herald, they get out.
So well played by the mid-jungle duo from JDXL. MNS making sure that his jungler stays alive. And right here, it is a fight for the smite. And unlucky for MC this time, he doesn't have his smite available, which means that Dan makes sure to secure that one. And MNS is like, I'm just here to cover my jungler, you know, but the second that E lands, he's like, why not? I can take that Nidalee down and try to get the shutdown. And Dan is the one to actually get the kill and get out with it. So for his travels and that blue buff that was stolen away, he comes out victorious.
And Slowq, of course, unable to secure anything in return there. Dan did have to burn the flash, of course, but does get the Herald, gets the kill. And he's feeling very pleased indeed. Actually, a gold lead right now to XL, which is not what you want to see if you're an X7 fan, because this was supposed to be the early game pressure comp.
Exactly, and imagine how important it is right now that the Rift Herald is on the side of JDXL. you would usually want to use the Rift Herald if you're playing a poke composition to maybe into the pockets of your Jace, so the poke hurts even more. MC would love this insurgence of gold into his pocket as well from the Rift Herald, so taking away all that early spike, all this early gold is going to be a little bit problematic, and I think we're going to have our eyes onto the second dragon, because X7 are definitely going to want to start stacking, but both of the junglers on the bot side of the map, MC has been spotted.
He has indeed. It'll be a 3v3. Dan does not quite have Cyclone up yet, but there's a lot of other ultimates available. Kasing not at level 6, though means no Solar Flare, which is a really critical ultimate. Was doing a lot of roaming earlier in the game, and that's clearly hurt that experience discrepancy. Dan now spotted as well. MC has backed away, so just some posturing, nothing else really coming home, and I think maybe while we're still waiting for something like a...
Oh, Cries.
...come through. Never mind that. Chasey going to trade out with Cries. Does get a fairly decent chunk. Of course, has Phase Rush. Dodges the boulder. May need to think about resetting soon, because that's not a lot of mana on that Jace, though. And he's going to be in a possible...
Might look for a dive here.
Oh, a bit bold. But ties their heads against it. The wave is gone, and Chasey gets away with it. Herald now summoned in mid. MC will come and try and defend, though. That is a 3v2.
It's a 3v2, but Kasing is coming from the right side as well. But the gold is going to go towards Eminence. Dan and Venzer, I think, cashed in from this one right there. So it is split evenly among the 3 carries from the side of JDXL. And if anything, if I was JDXL, I'd want to be putting all of my money in Eminence's pocket, especially since we have to mention how he was the kill leader last split. He had 29 solo kills in 13 games. It was absolutely mind-blowing.
It really was. And then you've got to remember as well, this was a guy who played for the longest time a unique champion every game, it felt like. We saw everything from him, including a Thelios mid. Now, Cries is going to get a lot of damage. He does hit Mega, but misses the wallop. Flashes the second spear, and Cries gets out of dodge, but it does cost him that additional summoner spell.
Very well-read situation right there from MC. Just dodges Dan walking towards his blue buff and make sure to take that flash off of Cries. Now, this is a lane that you can actually revisit. Cries has had to use both his flash and his teleport, meaning that if you take him down, that Jace is going to have a really peachy time with all these turret platings.
JC, we heard from the likes of Chronicle, who helped fill us in, of course, because he is that Korean Challenger guy.
Absolutely.
He is a great source of information, so shout out to dear old Chrony, who's done some great work for us. But he was basically saying for JC, this is a guy who did a lot of work for his team. He was on Dan1 Kier's academy team over in Korean Challenger and was a very strong individual player, but couldn't quite make it work as a team. But we're seeing this guy capable of playing by himself without a huge amount of attention, has now managed to get a second plate for himself. We have got a second dragon, though, and that means we're going to have to start seeing things like Flash, Solar Flares, and Zenith Blaze. Don't quite land. Venzer now burn the summoner spell, FGG in a spot of bother.
And walking down.
And we're going to get ourselves a bit of a team fight. Cyclone is in, but it is exhausted. Kasing, though, still dead to rights. He will be the sacrificial lamb, and XL pick up their 3rd kill of the game.
And as you can see, JDXL are letting all the kills go to Eminence as well. You know, he walked down all the way from mid to participate into this fight. Everybody threw their hands up when Kasing was on 1 HP, giving the kill towards Eminence. You want to make sure that your only AP damage dealer, who's also an assassin, who is also in the hands of Eminence, your most solo bolo king player that we've had in the NLC, has all the kills, has all the gold, is able to jump the backline and assassinate. And this is where trouble strikes for X7, because remember, they needed to start stacking these dragons and they can't. Venzer right there will sidestep the Leona ult and flash the spear plus Zenith Blade, and the second Sloki tries to make a play, gets instantly exhausted right there, and you see Kasing is a little bit too far forward. Dan is around to put down the Cyclone, and Eminence just comes in for the kill secure.
That's what you get for having a Curse of the Black Mist. So much harder to hit your targets. And Venzer, one of these players who was struggling at the beginning of Spring Split and then really kicked it up another gear alongside FGG on Dusty, continuing to be an absolute terror. Cries, though, that Zenith Blade. Kasing was looking for that ward, comes down, an immediate reaction for Kasing. Still not going to be quite enough. Now another invade, not going to hit that blue buff and down secure.
1 HP.
I know, 1 HP.
1 HP right there. Yeah, so we've been looking so far from the side of JDXL. Are they going to neutralize that needly pick that everyone has been dreading towards MC, right? No team left it open. The only one that did suffered from it last split, which was Nuriki. And right here, yes, MC is going to be ahead because it's a fast clear. Cries might be in a little bit of pickle right there, but he'll be fine. So yeah, Nidalee is a very fast clear, but we haven't necessarily seen much come from this pick. And I'm gonna go back to what Namera said on the desk while the picks and bans were going on, is the fact that FTG is going to start tanking all the spears, all the shock blast, all the mystic shots. He's not going to care. He's going to be extremely tanky. Christ can do the same. And you know what? Venge is going to be able to heal up a bunch of that damage done to them through all the sustain that they do have with their abilities. So it's going to be really problematic for X7 to get that poke down. So therefore, Slowq can go in together with Kasing and provide some assassination.
I mean, add a little bit salt to the wound. It's an Ocean Rift. You get Ocean Soul to sustain through some of that poke. Yes, you've got to hit champions to make it happen, but it's pretty doable when you can start throwing out some of those rules of the Slayers and the like. Gonna go in here trying to stop that tower going down, and Kasing does manage to pull it off, forces an ult even out of FGG, just playing very aggressively. There is the Leona.
Yep, an ult for an ult right here, and I'm just wondering because X7 need to make something happen on the map, but people are already too tanky. Dan's taking the blast bomb right there.
He's using alone. They're going to be a bit of a fight. Dawning Shadow comes through. Kasing taken very, very low. Hasn't got the flash, but still just about alive with the Eclipse. Hops forward with the Nimbus Strike. Gets to MC. Hopping forward as well, but the trade back is going to come through. They're just not making work. Slowq's got one. Chasing in the top side, trading out. It's a double for Dan, and the fight's still going. FGG gets Slowq, and now it is a 3-for-1. All things said and done, XL are starting to bring this game very much in their favor.
I think that was a 3v4 until very late when MNS finally joined the game. But if you see how Dan played this start to finish, he was kind of mesmerizing. I thought we were actually going to have like a solo kill somewhere in the top lane since the camera went all the way up. But I'd really love to see the replay right there.
Attila, he's going to go down. Surely
him?
the Zenith Blade misses and adds another solo kill for the king himself. All hail, he's returning.
Woo, woo, woo.
Bow down and show obedience. This man just will not be stopped. And Attila, this former LEC player, this guy who was a superstar for the longest time, comes and rejoins with Kasing, a guy he played with in Giants back in, I want to say, 2021. And now we're going to see this replay where Dan just wrecks face.
Yeah, he knocks up both MC and Kasing right there and interrupts MC as he's about to jump in. He'll flash Slowq's ult just to finish off Kasing, and then he chases the Nidalee away, whilst FGG is just so tanky, keeping both Slowq and Attila on the both side of the map, just so Dan can chase away the Nidalee, and just so Eminence has the time to move down the river and secure the kill as well. Really, really well played. And also Eminence is like, wait a second, guys, I still haven't gotten my solo ball of this game. We need to start the count. So, DJ, start the count. 1-0.
It's in. It's already beginning. First solo kill of the season goes to none other than MNS on the Akali. 2-0-2 now. Very much in a comfortable position. Dan as well. 3-0-2 on this Wukong. Very ahead of the curve. MC 1-2 on this Nidalee. It's just not working out yet.
It's all about revenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Slowq and MC took out the mid-jungle duo, Eminence and Dan, out of playoffs last split. It's personal at this point. It's all about revenge. It's all about taking them down. And you know what else? It's not even the Riddle mid-jungle duo that played them last split. It's also X7, who is 2-0 against JDXL in the entirety of the season. So this is way more than personal. This is making a statement.
And at this point, we're seeing a pretty sizable gold discrepancy, about 3,000 odd gold, which is a pretty sizable point, especially when you're on a scaling comp. You've got a Senna, you've got this Scion support, you've got all the rest of these people who really want to get to that 2-item mark. They're now getting towards a second dragon. This team of X7, it might have had a bit of an expiry date. They can't control the river, they can't get the poke down, and at the minute, they can't even seem to find themselves much of anything.
I think at this point, you're going to have to try to make a pick on the side lane, right? You have to rely on Chasey, having the Eclipse right there, having MC's Nidalee on the side as well is going to be very instrumental.
Chasey, he takes so much damage, flashes over the wall, does have an acceleration gate. MNS can't quite get in range, even with the second charge of perfect execution. Chasey gets out. That's all about he gets to his name.
I was just about to say, you have to play together with Chasey, bundle up the Nidalee and the Jace, land both of their poke onto whoever is on the side lane, whether it is the Na or is the Nidalee, the Akali. Sure. It will be much easier at this point to catch the Na, because she's not just that mobile as the Akali is, and only has one Trinity Force, so it will be much easier to take down as well. But at this point, you're running out of options, because what JDXL is going to do is going to be, right, you can kill our side laner, and at this point, Kryze is not that tanky, but he's tanky enough enough to delay them on a dive or on a chase or on a side lane gank. And on the other half, you already have two dragons. JDXL is going to control your map while you have put two players onto the side lane, and then you're going to lose complete control of the map for that one kill. I think X7 need to completely put their foot down on the throttle because it's going to be really difficult to come back from this.
Absolutely, and Venza just checking at the bottom of your screen, that's 67 stacks of mist already here. They're just cresting that 20-minute mark. That Senna pretty much online at this point, has managed to get this Scion as well because it's a farming Scion, has now got himself towards that initial Mythic, has got himself nearly towards a second item as well. M&S has got a Shadow Flame, so there's already that second Mythic in. So 6 stacks on that Dark Seal. He's the kind of guy who would buy a Medjai's.
And if you look towards the bot side of the map, X7 is trying to do exactly what we talked about. Pairing up MC together with Chasey, trying to pull a dive towards the bot side of the map. But if you show your Nidalee on the bot side of the map with the second Rift Herald in the pockets of JDXL as well, they're going to pop it towards the top side of the map, take the tower, and maybe even threaten the Baron. FTG.
A lot of damage, gets knocked out of the Zenith Blade. Venza gets exhausted, but in comes Dan. Inclement weather indeed, it's a Category 5 Hurricane. Cyclone does enough work, but wait, they survive. It's a 1-for-1, of course, as Venza secures that Leona regardless. And back away, but that 1-for-1 is much needed. It was a shutdown as well, a second kill onto the back of MC's Nidalee. Top side though, M&S diving it out with Slowq, has to ult himself away. Will prevent this K-Tower go down. MC is now here. M&S used that second proc of the perfect execution and gets himself out of danger. Wait, maybe not. MC still hunting, could look for that spear. M&S still got the shuriken, does have flash, but they're going to keep chasing him here.
Okay, M&S has flash and ignite. He could make a play. There is no ult on Slowq.
No, you're going to try and play this 1v2? No! Not like this, M&S! He gets 2 in the 1 versus 2. He's back! He's back!
Make it 3 solo kills in 1 game. The boy is back and he's here to stay. What a performance on that Akali. Everyone thought it was going to be Cries onto the Akali. I thought it was going to be Cries onto the Akali. But M&S is making a statement on that champion for himself. Again, he has no ultimate. He has flash and ignite. MC walks way too close for comfort, gets instantly assassinated. Also the assistance right there from Venza with the Senna ultimate. Make sure to give M&S that double kill before he falls to the shadow, and Baron has been started for JDXL.
He's back in black and he's put the others into the grey screen. It's monochrome all day long for the mid laner of JDXL. What a superstar, but Baron's been started. It's gonna be a fight. MC's coming over, and actually they might have overstayed. XL taking so much damage. Slowq is going to stay alive, but the jungler is dead. Venz is dead as well. M&S is back, but now he's got to try and sort out the mess that this fight has become. Baron's been started. M&S trying to get on the Slowq. It'll be another kill. Surely does get that one. MC over the wall. He's got 1, and that's a dead mid laner. XL have been wiped, and we were just singing their praises. Now X7 goes straight back to the Baron.
They can start Baron. There's enough damage between the Ezreal and the Nidalee, and can sink, can tank for days. XL reach way more than they can actually handle, and they end up getting the ace on that top side river, giving away X7 that Baron. This is disaster striking all along. Thinking back to Spring Split, XL was ahead in the first game versus X7. 1 throw was all it took for X7 to pick up, and right here they pick up. That's exactly what they needed. They needed more pressure on the side lanes. Now with the Baron up minions onto Chase, onto that Jace, you can put so much pressure on the sides.
Gold lead now in X7's favor. Let's watch this replay because
look at the minimap.
Should have been doable.
Look at the minimap. Look where M&S is. He's in base and his team is starting Baron, knowing full well this is going to be a 4 versus 5. The first one to actually die is Venza onto that Senna, and here's all your damage gone. The second Dan dies as well. You don't have much damage. Cries is a Minina, and even though yes, M&S tries to dive in to clear up, everything that's happening is just not enough. And right here, X7 are faced with another task to try one more team fight.
X7 versus XL, it never ends! It's another fight, and this time XL have all of their forces ready to bear. 3 dead already. Dan will not bring down Kasing, but Venza will do the job for him. It's Attila alone, running away from the remnants of his own team. One man left alive. It will be sole point for XL. And one failed team fight, one lost Baron means nothing now as they can shove in to take even more structures.
Apparently it means nothing to them because they instantly learned from the mistake. At all 5 members, make sure you have Mega now up and available for Cries, and then you can try to pressure for a team fight. Beautiful ult by FTG as well to knock up 2, and they managed to find that soul point, which, as you mentioned previously, is going to be extremely crucial. X7's composition relies heavily on poke. If you've got Ocean Soul, all this poke is going to get healed up, and look at MNS right there. He sneaks in around the both side of the map, outside of all vision, and FG gets a beautiful knock-up into 2. MNS is going to jump in there, Dan is going to jump in there. They absolutely demolish Slowq and MC.
This rivalry that was born in spring is continuing to deliver here in summer. Back in the driver's seat now are XL, though. They've got themselves to Soul Point. They've weathered and returned and retaliated for that stolen Baron. And just look at the stat lines, look at the items. 3 in for MNS. It's nearly 3 in for Dan as well. He's got a stopwatch to his name. MC, the poor man, just bought a Medjais and loses all the stacks. After that team fight as well, the Nidalee not quite able to fully snowball this game in the way we were hoping for X7.
To me, it's also a little contradictory because I see the Banshees fail. Yes, you're trying to be defensive, but I also see the Medjais, and I'm like, what is happening right here? You're defensive, but you're also offensive. And right here, X7 have to bundle up as 5. But remember, the team fights do not favor them. MNS, on the other hand, does not have a TP up and available for him, which means that for the time that it will take MNS to get from base to this fight, X7 can actually try to pressure for an objective. It was going to be that bot lane tower, but it wasn't meant to be.
Not this time. They've still got a little bit of Baron buff remaining, but they've decided they just can't make anything more of it. They'll have to recall gold in favor of XL, but it's only a couple thousand. 7, the big discrepancy at this point, honestly, is that dragon stacking. It is just the sheer scaling, honestly, as we were saying. Santa's going to continue being a nightmare. This Sion going to be very difficult for this team comp to deal with. Yes, you've got poke. Yes, you've got 2 items.
Who's going to kill him?
But like, it's so hard. 3 items on Attila, and a man who is known for being an exceptional team fighter on a champion with a lot of ability and agency. Maybe he can do it, but he's been quiet thus far this game. He's picked up a few kills over the last couple team fights, but that's been about it. I
want you to look behind JDXL right now because it's fully lit in red. So many wards that Slowq can choose to possibly TP on and pull a flank if his team pulls the trigger for the team fight. I think it's very important though that Slowq holds onto that teleport for this 2-minute fight that's to come when the last dragon is gonna come up, and XL are gonna want this to secure Ocean Soul for themselves. So making sure that both of your side laners will have the teleports up and available, putting some pressure onto the side lane is very important, but also remember, both Slowq and Chasey extremely squishy. They could get caught. MNS on the side lane beats both at this point.
He does, and he's hit level 16, which means a rank 3 perfect execution on a Fed Akali. That sounds pretty uncomfortable.
Into a very squishy team?
Yeah, pretty squishy indeed. We said there was some issues about keeping that distance, about trying to keep the poke at range. So many ways to close a distance, and when one of those is MNS on Akali with 5 kills and a level 16, I don't think I need to, you know, draw that picture anymore.
It's very graphic.
Yeah, indeed. We've got to keep this PG rated. We are still a public broadcast, sadly. Prepare yourselves, though. We've got about a minute until what will be a soul fight. That means that X7 are trying to make sure they are the ones in control of this river.
Yeah, MNS is towards the top side of the map and he's pushing a wave, trying to force a solo laner to come and reply to him. But the problem is MNS right now is holding the vast majority of JDXL's damage in his hands. Is he on a side lane? He cannot join for this fight. They might think for JDXL that right now it's more important to try and secure maybe something like an inhibitor tower, but it's not going to be the case right now. And it's 40 seconds at this point. MNS is going to shove in double wave on the top side of the map. He's going to reset, grab his item, which I'm thinking is going to be a Banshee's Veil, which is going to be so important with all of these spears diving in, with the Leona trying to snipe you as well and stop you from engaging, and JDXL on the bottom of the map with all the brute force and the tankiness that they have with the Sion are trying to reclaim some territory.
At least Chasey and Attila have got that 3 items mark. Both have got their mythics plus Cerildas plus Muramana. That's a pretty big deal. Lots of wards, and the teleports are now in.
I was pointing out the wards that are still in Excel's jungle. Slow KTP's in the mid lane, so they do know where every single member of X7 is right now. Obviously, they have to retake the territory right there. But FTG is so tanky, and Slowky has just used his shadow.
Does indeed. Big chunk comes.
Look at MNS.
That's MNS. Off vision. Use the sweeper. We can go for the wall. Look for the perfect execution. Look for the shuriken flip. In they go! Attila is dead already. Make it a second as Kasing falls. The bot lane is gone. It's a decent use of the Fate seal, but the only Fate being sealed right now is X7's. He'll retreat to his body, but Venza secures him with a piercing darkness. 3 are dead. Only MC, only Chasey remains, and that'll mean a soul on the table for XL. Eminence is going to keep hunting. He's not done. It could be another solo kill, a 4th of the game. There it is. The man, the myth, the solo kill legend finds another.
Yeah, JC has to flash away from all this nonsense that's going in the mid lane because he has no teammates left. The only thing that he has is a boomerang up his face as Kryze is chasing him. Ooh, that was
nearly
close.
makes it happen, but he can't quite. Korean challenger comes over. Welcome to the NLC. It's a warm, bloody welcome. And this will mean XL to the Baron, XL with the Ocean Soul, and XL looking to secure the first win in the NLC Summer Split.
And X7 came into these 2-0 up onto JDXL. MNS, surely not. Surely you're not losing to 2 members.
It's 1v2. He just can't be stopped. Attila hops away as Zenith Blade lands. MNS still hits the shuriken flip. He's just unstoppable out of the Solar Flare buffer with the perfect execution. The name of that ultimate could not be more perfect. 8 for MNS.
What is it now? 4 solo kills in his 5 solo kills in his first official game. And if you're wondering why we keep blabbering about this guy, this is why. Although I'm gonna say this was a little bit dangerous. He could have gotten caught in the mid lane while his team was doing Baron. So it was a little bit selfish for somebody who also doesn't have TP to get back into this fight. But you know what? It's MNS. We'll allow this for now.
You get results like this.
Yeah. You'll see Kryze try to go in for the Mega Nab. Beautiful shift from Attila right there to jump away. But MNS had the flank sweep all the way through to make this happen. And then once X7 walk out, it's so easy for JDXL to just pick them one by one. You see Kryze follows through in Minina. MNS manages to kite to perfection and not die right there while putting in all the damage. And the most crucial thing, Ocean Soul and Baron. Who stops these guys now?
Apparently nobody. It's got to that point where it feels a team fight is nearly unwinnable. Unless it's a 4v5 at the Baron. That's the one time we've seen X7 win a team fight, and now you're into a full item Akali, who's picked up a Medjai's. MC wishes he had the 10 stacks that MNS does right now.
Yeah, he's had 0 for a long time. This book should have been sold
a lot of pages been ripped out
long ago because the pages have literally nothing in them right there. And XL have really perfect wave management. Look at the top side of the map. 2 waves are going to be crushing. They're going to take bot lane inhibitor, they're going to take mid lane inhibitor, and top lane is also going to shove in shortly. They don't necessarily need to push top lane because they already have 2 cannon waves on the bot side, 1 cannon wave in the mid lane. They can just look to end.
Well, that diary won't be blank for long, dear diary. Today I got curb stomped by XL. The #1 team from the NLC last split falls to their rivals in JDXL. It is an absolute demolition. It's revenge. It is so sweet. And the first win of the season of this split in summer goes to JDXL.
What an